People First podcast is a show presented by people with learning disabilities for our friends and community. We talk about issues that are important to us and interview interest guests to find out new information. This is our way to make a difference.
Hello everyone, welcome to the People First podcast and a Happy New Year. Today, listeners, we have Vicky Donnelly from the Bradford District Care Foundation Trust. She is the Strategic Health Facilitator based at Waddiloves. Welcome Vicky and a Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, Luke. It's nice to be here.
How did you first get involved with a learning disability health support team?
So I'm a learning disability nurse and I applied for a job at CTLD about 23 years ago now. So I've worked in Bradford for that long and I moved across to the health support team about 15 years ago from CTLD. So I've been in Bradford for quite a long time now.
That's very interesting.
What is your role with the LDHS team?
So my role is to make sure that people with learning disabilities across the whole of the Bradford district, so that includes Keighley and Craven, that they get the right health support. So I work with people with learning disabilities, like the self-advocacy groups here in Keighley and in Bradford, and we talk about health issues for people. And then I work with the GPs and I work with the hospitals and various different people to make sure that those health services are all accessible to people with learning disabilities and help make sure that they get the right care and support that they need.
How would somebody who needed the LDHS team be able to access?
So our team is for adults with learning disabilities, so you have to be an adult in the first place. You have to have a learning disability, so we don't work with people who are autistic unless they also have a learning disability. So yes, so you need to have a learning disability. And then you have to have a health need that's not being met by health services. So all health services need to be making reasonable adjustments to help people with learning disabilities get their health needs met. And our team works with those people who need extra support on top of those reasonable adjustments. So we don't work with everybody with a learning disability because lots of people with learning disabilities can access health services on their own, or their families might help them, or their care providers might help them. But there's a small number of people that need that extra support, and that's when our team get involved with people.
Why is it important to have a team to support people with learning disabilities?
Okay, so we all know, don't we, that lots of people with learning disabilities have health needs and have some health inequalities that mean that they need that extra support to get their health needs met. So for things like cancer screening, for instance, or because other services don't always make those reasonable adjustments to help the person, our team helps those services to make sure that people with learning disabilities can get the right health support, because we don't want people with learning disabilities dying unnecessarily or being poorly because they can't get the right health support. That's why it's important that our team is there.
How many people are on the LDHS team and how many people do you support?
Okay, so our team is made up of lots of different staff. So we have nurses in the team, we have occupational therapists, we have physiotherapists, we have speech and language therapists, we have psychology, we have psychiatry, we have dietitians, and at the minute we've got a pharmacist as well. So we've got lots of different people in the team. We've probably got over 70 different staff that work in the team. Some people work full-time, some people work part-time. And there's about 3,000 adults with learning disabilities across the whole of the Bradford district, but we only work with a really small number of those people. We probably only work with about 400 of those people at any one time. So it's a big team, but we work with lots of different people.
Why is it important to offer mental health support as well as physical?
I think that's a really good question, isn't it? Because the two things are so closely linked together, aren't they? People's mental health and their physical health often impact on each other. So if you've got a problem with your physical health, like maybe you've got a toothache, and that doesn't get sorted out, that can then impact on your mental health, can't it? So it might make you feel depressed because you're in pain. It might make you feel very low in your mood. It may make you feel grouchy and irritable with people. And if you're depressed with your mental health, maybe you don't feel like looking after yourself properly, so you maybe aren't sleeping properly, you might not want to eat properly. And again, that can impact on your physical health. So the two things are really closely linked together, and we always need to make sure that we've checked everything for the person rather than just focusing on one area.
We recently interviewed an occupational therapist to learn about what they did. Why is it important to have them on the team?
Okay, so like I just said in the other question, we've got 7 different clinical professionals in the group or in the team, and everybody, all of those people have different skills and different training. So they have different specialist knowledge. So the OTs and the physios will know things that the nurses don't know, and the nurses will know things that the OTs and the physios don't know. And so to get the best care for the person, it's really important that we have all those different people with all their different specialist knowledge, and we all then can bring that together to make sure that we give the person the right support.
That's terrific, thank you.
We add your easy read info online. Why is it important for LDHS info to be easy read?
I think it's really important that any health information is easy read and accessible to everybody, isn't it? Because everybody needs to have as much understanding as possible about their health issue. So there's some routine information that's made into easy read, like things around COVID vaccinations, for instance, or flu vaccines, because those are really important things for people to know about. So everybody needs to be able to read and understand those things. And in our team at Waddiloves, we also, if we're working with somebody and they've got a specific health issue that's just for them, then we will make the information about that easy read and accessible to that person in whatever way means that they can understand it best. We will try and put the information into that format so that they can understand it. Because unless people understand the information, they can't make good choices about their health and they can't make informed decisions about their health. So it's important that they understand information as much as possible.
Should easy read format be more widespread?
Yeah, I think that there is a lot of easy read information available on the internet, isn't there? I think it's just not always easy for people to find it. Sometimes if you need things in easy read, it has to be accessible, and that means you need to be able to find it really easily, doesn't it? So it would be good for all information to be available in easy read, wouldn't it? Because I think actually lots of people like the easy read information because it takes out all the jargon and the bits of information that you actually don't really need to know about, and it just focuses on the important of information, doesn't it, in easy read? It would be great, wouldn't it, if everybody just made everything in easy read?
Yes, that's brilliant. Thank you very much.
What's the best part about working with a LDHS team?
Okay, so I've worked in that team for a long time now, and now I'm more of a manager than actually working with people with learning disabilities as much. So I don't get to spend quite as much time with people with learning disabilities as I would like. So things like doing this today with you guys is great, and I really enjoy these sorts of things. But I guess the team at Waddiloves as well is a really lovely team. Everybody's very approachable, everybody's really helpful, everybody wants to do the best for people with learning disabilities. And so working as part of that team is probably the best thing about it, and being involved in all the work that goes on with different people.
That's all we have time for today. I think we have learnt a lot about what Vicky's role is and how important it is that health support is available for people with learning disabilities. And we are very thankful to have her overseeing that in Bradford. Thank you again for coming and talking to us today. Vicky, is there anything else you would like to add before we sign off?
No, I don't think so. Thanks, Jane, other than just saying thank you for inviting me here to come and talk to you today, and hopefully we all keep in touch and can keep talking about what are the big health issues for people with learning disabilities. It was great to see you all.
It's been lovely to have you, Vicky, and a long time since we last met. It's been lovely to see you again. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Luke.
Please share our podcast with your friends to help us grow. You can also find us on social media by searching for the People First podcast. We also have a blog where we write about our interviews, which you can find on our website, www.peoplefirstkc.com. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next show.